Hello all, welcome back to Rogue Trader, of course, game operator and narrator. So we're right back to where we left off, just after completely scrubbing that entire combat mission. And as for what to do now, still looking for the Temple of the Bloodspawn Web. Yeah, we'll find it around here somewhere.
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
We're starting to look a little worse for wear. And... now we're getting rashes. Awesome. Oh, it's leprosy. Yay!
See what I found.
Oh, that is a trap.
Nothing escapes my sight.
That's a lot of traps.
When the faithful
Okay,
are
Argenta.
heresy grows.
One at a time.
Never doubt me. Duty prevails. I better myself through my service.
Let's get everybody over here.
I rise above hardships.
Crimson Intoxicants. The user loses all their temporary wounds and increases the melee damage by the same amount for one round. Not bad. Martyr's Bone Charm. If worn by a Death Cult Assassin, when the wearer gains a stack of Blood Blessed, they also gain plus 10 toughness for 2 rounds. Well, that is oddly specific gear. Same with the gloves. If worn by Death Cult Assassin, whenever the wearer kills an enemy, the enemy explodes in a fountain of blood. The cells nearby are covered in blood as if affected by a blood file. Well, we're going to collect all those and make sure our specific person is able to wear them. Gloves first. And where is that bone chart? Right there. Oddly specific gear.
Let us walk this path to the end.
More goods? More goods. The Den of the Outcast. You there! A figure in decaying tatters is rocking to and fro, muttering indistinctly in several different voices, occasionally breaking into hoarse laughter. As you come closer, she freezes and turns slowly to look at you. An ugly, rusted mask covers her face. Are you here to take Zadia to the other side? No. No. You're just wandering around in the dark, looking for the light, but it's nowhere to be found. Do you really not see it? And who are you? Old Zina. This is gonna confuse me. Zadina? Zadina the outcast, Zadina the mad, Zadina the disaster, Zadina the curse, Zadina the spurned. The woman hugs her arms to her chest and starts cackling loudly. Broken chains clink at her emaciated wrists and neck. The ghost of the past, the shadow of the present. Only the undying one knows. He alone. What is this repulsive place? Do you live here? The woman scratches her neck nervously. You note her deformed fingers, ravaged by some unknown disease. Here, where the unfortunate meet their undeath. Here, a dumping ground for the bodies of those the undying one rejects. Here, where pestilence dwells. Zidana welcomes them all. Talks to the ghosts. Here, where Zidana lives? Yes, that sounds right. Oh good, you talk to ghosts? You can't hear them. Zdena points somewhere off to the side, laughs, and then stops herself sharply. They don't like it when people come here. Lord Captain, this woman is clearly ill in both spirit and body. Best to leave her be. Her colors are all mixed, smudged, poised to reveal a pure shade of madness. And yet scarlet threads separate these trembling patches, preventing her from losing herself. Why are you wearing chains and a mask? You haven't escaped from the enforcers, have you? Ah, these gifts they are. The chains clink to announce Zedena's approach. For others to hear, she slides her disease-darkened palm down the rough, rusted metal of her mask. They hide, fearful of becoming like Zedena, afraid of losing face. There's a blood symbol next to you. I've seen such marks before. Is this another part of the Song of Trailing Blood? Zedena burst into hysterical laughter. Oh yes, oh yes. The song. Here, listen, listen. The woman starts chanting hurriedly. She wandered an eternity in dark, yet was consoled, web foretold. Undying one's blood secrets glowed, a light to guide her faithful fold. But threads must end, and so the spider did it that which was owed, her life and death to ship bestowed. She laughs again, and you'll see if you learn to see. Look into the darkness, look, look! I cannot fathom what I'm meant to see here. You peer into the darkness, and are gradually able to make out the outlines of objects hidden in the shadow. Rotting corpses, rough walls, the twitching death throes of infected people left here to die. You see no light in this place, only more darkness and despair. You don't see, do you? You don't see! Zedena shakes her head frantically and starts tearing off her rags. Strips of her decaying flesh peel off along with them. You will not see until you become like Zedena, the flesh and blood of the ship. Cautious question. And how do I become the flagship's blood? Oh, Zedena will show you, and you'll see the true light. Come. Come now. Aye. Where are you running to? Oh, no. Don't jump. Plunge into the ventilation shaft and see what happens. Well, when in Rome, I guess join the blood plague. The rotating blades promise nothing but a senseless and brutal death. Slipping past them would require some unreasonably precise calculations, or blind luck. While listening to the air currents, for a moment you think you hear Zedena's whispered prayer rising from the depths of the shaft. I do have athletics. Let us jump. And game over. How lucky are we? Game over. Oh, I'm by myself. That's not good. All by myself in my own ship. Oh, athletics. That's a coin flip. That's a coin flip. I can bypass that immediately. Okay. Just had to check first.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Craptacular. Well, I screwed that one up, didn't I? Yeah, but I should have gone up here. Grab that. That's 2 pieces of goods that I missed. Joy. All saying the same thing.
The Divine watches over us.
Well, up is not going to be a thing. At least not at the moment. Yeah, because I can't get back up there. Oh. Look, it's a nice box, too. That hurts. That hurts.
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
Oh, no. Can't go back and grab it. Let's take our time, shall we? What do we got here? Sarcophagi serve as the death cultist's beds. Oh. Well, aren't we all lovely-dovey down here?
Let us walk this path to the end.
I can't pull the camera back anymore, but it looks pretty cool. Oh, there's the vizier. Suddenly being a backliner isn't really all that good.
I have proven myself yet again.
Ah, there we go. That one we passed. Bloody Pact. Spinner's Blade. More Crimson Intoxicants. Oh, looks like everybody else is there. That's good. I also see more goods. Coming all this way and now just kind of running around ransacking the place. What is this? Oh. Frail old man, gray beard tinged with blood, holds his wrinkled hands in a ritual gesture. His body is covered in scars, some old, some fresh. His eyes are soon tightly shut. His mouth is cleft at both corners, making his jaw seem eerily snake-like. And the Lord of the Ark walked the paths of unlife in the footsteps of the web's very first spinner. And the servants of death bowed before him, for the Domin is the giver of life. The old man goes still, his head turned to the side. He nods toward the temple's muffled silence. Yes. Yes, truth like a stream pours from your lips. We welcome him as the tenants demand. Your hues are almost as pale as the gray of your beard, but what is this? Cassia flinches and takes a shuddering breath. A scarlet whirlwind shines through the faded colors. A servant of death who sees beyond the threshold. A spider who spins a cocoon at the end of his thread. Adira shakes her head and clutches her temples. Sorry about that. It just came over me. I didn't say anything too weird, did I? A thin blade appears in the old man's trembling hands. Although his arms are stiff and look like they can barely bend. The next instant, the dynasty symbol is etched on his forehead, dripping blood. With a brief motion, he flicks the blood off his blade, and several drops land in your face. The blood-spun web welcomes its new lord. I am the Vizier. For many years we have waited, and now you are here. We have waited, whispers, echoes his words from the shadows.
Wasn't you who invited me here?
Death whispered your name and commanded us to honor you with a sacred ritual. But only inside the temple can the spinners perform it. The Vizier is suddenly distracted by some invisible... Yes, we are glad he has reached this place. We are glad to serve. Apologies for that notification. That's an awesome thing to have.
What do you mean you have waited for many years?
It's not so long ago that I made my acquaintance with the cult. As I delved into my divinations from the flesh and blood of the departed ones, I turned to a relic most ancient and priceless. This is Terror, inherited by the cult from the matriarch spider who spun the first thread. One of the readings I did back when I still had the strength to leave the temple and usher souls on their final journey. That was when, in the intricate tangles of destiny, I glimpsed our meeting. But when we would meet, alas, was not revealed to me. So we waited, year after year, and now the hour has come.
Vizier, is that some sort of title?
Is the name we give to the first spinner, the one who has learnt the wisdom of the tenets of the web in order to lead others. I may have a duty to instruct and spin bloody threads, but in all other ways I am as much his servant and yours as anyone else in the temple.
So you just walked my companions in here the normal way while I was forced to take that jump?
The spinners guided them along a different trail. You had to take the step, for only you were meant to become the flagship blood domin. There was no reason to test the faith of those who follow you, for this burden was for their lord to bear.
How exactly did you manage to erect an entire temple in the middle of the ship without anyone noticing?
Followers of the cult once inhabited the tunnels between the bay's bulkheads, until the threads of fate were tangled, and a domin of ages past gave us this compartment. We set ourselves to building spacious halls, where the shadows, the images of him, and the spinners themselves would whisper of death. And thus the temple that you see began to change with the succession of viziers and the cult's generations. We are building it slowly but surely.
Alright, well, I've walked the path of the matriarch spider. What now?
The Song of Trailing Blood tells of a path fraught with trials. By accepting it and setting out on the path, you've passed the first one, the trial of resolve. For not everyone is prepared to shun their fear and doubt and embark on a search for the unknown. Search for death. The trial of compassion was the second one. You passed it when you put yourself, albeit briefly, in the service of another soul, a man suffering from burns. The choice between life and death is to be made only by those willing to take responsibility for the pain of another. The third was the trial of justice. In assuming the role of a judge for an apostate of our faith, you declared your right to influence the balance of life and death that the errant soul had upset. And the fourth was our trial of duty, for duty always leads to death. We are prepared to render our duty to the Undying One, fearless and accepting of our purpose, which is to serve him. You too have proven yourself prepared, and the 4 trials have brought you here.
Were the trials truly necessary? Why not a conversation? Would not a conversation have sufficed?
Vizier bows his head guiltily. Such are the tenets of the web. They are all we have ever known and the only life we have learned to live. The path you walked was a gift from the Undying One, and so we decided that was how we were to honor you. The Vizier's soon-shut eyes seem to peer into your face, studying it. Then he turns away and speaks into empty space again. Peace, my brother. The time has almost come.
Who is it that you talk to all the time?
The Vizier turns his head as if looking around the temple. I see echoes of those who came before us and those who were with us, but have since crossed over to the other side. My brothers and sisters raised by the cult. I hear them from beyond their deaths. They share their wisdom. I heed them. The other spinners they hear not, for that burden is mine to bear.
I see your eyes are sewn shut. Are you blind, or is that another of the cult's rituals?
I was sighted for much of my life, until a disciple of mine violated the tenets, and I realized just how blind I had been. A lesson, but a bitter one. To look with one's eyes alone is to be easily fooled, but the heart cannot be lied to. Such is the truth, and such was my choice. I sealed my eyelids with the gas of true sight. Now I see more and better.
So, this entire conversation is another test, I imagine.
A smile graces the Vizier's bluish lips. The tenets command us to be prepared for all trials, corporeal and spiritual alike. Are you prepared, Domin Solstrom? His mouth closes, but he can still hear his whisper. A prickling sensation in your face is making you increasingly anxious. You raise a hand to your cheek, only to realize you can't feel it. You look at your palm and see a few smudged drops of blood from the Vizier's blade. A strange, serene calm envelops your body. Your fatigue subsides and you seem to float in the air, seeing things you had not noticed before. The shadows in the corners taking on shape and color. The subdued lumen light playing on the cultists' bone masks. Are they really masks? Their tall, lean, empty-eyed wearers might as well be dead people. A chill runs down your spine.
What is the meaning of this?
Your heart is beating slowly. Your breathing has become deeper and your thoughts are muddled. You seem to be under the influence of a potent stimulant.
You poisoned me somehow, did you not?
The Vizier nods meekly. My blood is infused with a concoction taken by those who follow the thread. It is sacred and harmless to us, but you it befogs and afflicts. And yet, Domin Solstrom, you have grasped that the mind may fail the body and the senses. This was the trial of spiritual acumen. You have passed it.
And what happens now?
That is for you to tell me. You look at the Vizier, and his trembling frame seems small and insignificant. A single step is all it would take to crush him. But the visions are starting to wear off, and now the old man towers over you. The keen gaze of his sealed eyes is studying your every movement, waiting for a response.
First, you're going to give me the antidote.
There is none, but I will ease its effect and quicken dissipation. 3 long, thick needles appear in the Vizier's hand. A moment later, they are inside your body, one in your neck, one in your shoulder, and one between your ribs. You feel no pain or discomfort. On the contrary, your mind feels clear and your muscles regain their function. The Vizier then carefully removes the needles. Now you will feel better.
Now you're going to initiate me as a servant of death.
The Vizier ponders your words for a long time, whispers something to the empty space behind his shoulder, then shakes his twitching head. Our thread is repellent to you, Domin Solstrom. You proved it by walking the matriarch's path in your own way. It is your right and we respect your choice. However, only one who accepts the essence of death may become its servant. You accept your own essence, and we dare not burden you with our dogma. For years, we have maintained fealty to the Domini. We have collected sacred symbols and relics. You are the first in 3 generations of lords and ladies to descend into the sanctum. We are grateful. We are uplifted in spirit. Hear our exaltation, and accept this gift of a vestment sewn from the bones of his faithful with the threads of death. That which was foretold has come to pass. The ritual of descent is complete. Now, be this temple's guest of honor and rest a while. Okay. So what is it we got? Spinner's ritual vestments. Armor 30%. No dodge penalty. Dodge 10% of average enemy attacks. Reduces incoming damage of average enemy attacks in the chapter by 15%. Plus 10% dodge if the wearer is not in cover. And plus strength bonus wounds. Ooh. Well, it's very nice armor. But strength isn't really something for me. Abelard. That would actually be best for you. Oh, that looks terrible. Terrible on him. And that's good for what she's got set up for abilities. Well, it's something. Alright, so now what do we do? That is a river of blood. Yep. Let's have a look at this wonderful system.
His favor.
I don't know what it does. Okay. The vizier's head trembles with the infirmity of his age, and his lips utter barely audible words meant for those only he can see. Loman Solstrom has honored us with a visit. We are glad. First Spinner. Peace, Cabela. You are the shield. You are the shadow. You are the blade. So be them. Your traditions and rituals are rooted in blood and death. Many are frightened by that. Many are blind, even with their eyes wide open. Thus spoke the matriarch Spider. People look at things without seeing their essence, which makes them easy to beguile or frighten. We adorn the tunnel with the bones of the righteous, that they may guard our faithful against corrupt deeds and thoughts. We use the blood of the unholy ones for divination, so we may see dangers. The blood of martyrs is our wine, for their suffering makes us stronger. People are afraid, but only because they see death as the end. Death, however, is a beginning. It's life and duty in oblivion. Death has many facets. That is its essence. That is its beauty.
Have you stopped killing people as I ordered?
A prohibition imposed by the Lord of the Ark, against which we are powerless. To serve with honor is the rule of the web. The rule of the web commands us to follow. A spinner must be prepared for any test of their faith. It is difficult, but faithful we stay.
What are the tenets of the bloodspun web? I want a clear answer.
Every thread ends in death. The Vizier falls silent, as though those words have explained everything. Then he nods towards empty space. Yes, I see he is still full of questions. Let us give him answers about our ways, my brothers and sisters.
What is your supreme commandment?
To give and receive death, and to fear no twist or turn of fate. One who is afraid of death is already dead in their soul, waiting for the end, afraid to accept the inevitable. A life of fear is disgraceful. The true service is in dedicating oneself to death with no regrets.
And what do your tenets say about human weaknesses?
The smallest stain of rot is enough to ruin the most beautiful woven pattern. Weakness is a gateway to the soul, one we hold open for new failings. It is born of desire. Kill your desires, and your weakness will die along with them.
The followers of the web are skillful fighters. What is your secret?
The Vizier smiles gently. I cannot share the full wealth of my knowledge, for it has taken me a lifetime to learn. But I can share this foremost lesson with you. Be guided by reason, not fury, when you fight. Seek no pleasure in killing. That is how you will win.
I see.
The Vizier is once again distracted by the empty spaces to his left.
I will take my leave now.
We will meet again, though, when the threads of fate weave a bloody pattern. I think that's it. Like, there is a door over here. There is indeed.
With each step,
2 other
my
compartments.
destiny among the stars.
A spinner, his face covered in carved, bleeding glyphs, makes a respectful gesture of invitation. Let me show you the way, Doman.
The way to what?
The spinner points his finger upward at the ventilation shaft through which you reached the temple the first time. The path to where the lay people dwell is complex, web-like. Let me show you.
Take me to the enforcer in charge of the freight line. I have business with him.
And we're loading. Here we go. Right back to the beginning.
Doc Frenzo, you...
Captain Fresno has acquired a few wounds since your last conversation. Half of his ear is gone, and you notice he is wearing bloody bandages under his uniform. Seeing you, he quickly injects himself with a stimulant and straightens. How may I serve you, Lord Commander? Or Lord Captain?
Were you in a shootout?
Yes, there's been a raid on a local gang. We finally cleared out the scoundrels who were smuggling goods to neighboring compartments. No one escaped. Renzo permits himself a brief smile of grim satisfaction.
Enforcers have been appropriating ration cards from workers returning from their shifts. Why is that? Are you short on provisions?
The compartment has just enough food to avoid starvation, Lord Captain. This is why the enforcers are making sure that no serf has more cards than they're supposed to. They used to rip out people's tongues for it, but I reduced the punishment to simply beating the thieves and confiscating all their cards. Their orders are to give these cards to workers who are starving due to a lack of work shifts. Not that it helps them much, but it's better than nothing. Renzo scoffs. Are there enforcers guilty of misappropriating the confiscated items? Yes. Do these caught stealing receive severe punishment? Absolutely.
Came across a drawing of a worker in a red mask. What does it mean?
The captain frowns. It's a figure of local legend known as Nemesite, a protector of the poor and oppressed. Ever since I was a child, desperate people have been drawing this portrait on the walls, hoping to summon a defender to punish those who wrong them. We've had 13 or so fools calling themselves Nemesite over the past 5 years. We disburdened ourselves of them, just to be sure.
The cultural heritage of this compartment is interesting.
The captain shrugs. Not much can be expected from simple-minded serfs.
I was attacked.
Ugh. Renzo lets out a menacing growl as his face fills with blood.
Who dared? I encountered mutants in the pestilence pit. They seem to be under the influence of unholy powers.
You went to the pestilence pit? You. Into the pestilence pit. Renzo stares off into the distance as he speaks. Pardon me, Lord Captain. I just can't even begin to find the words I would use if I had to tell a master-at-arms that you had perished in there. He rubs his temple wearily. The enforcers do regular checks to see if there are any dangerous blight-stricken rejects hiding at the bottom of the bay. I implore you, Lord Captain, please leave this job to us.
Very well, then. I'm only going to ask this once. How did wretches from the lower decks get their hands on a crate of autoguns?
Autoguns? Purple spots appear in his face. Warp take me, they couldn't have bypassed the security of a munitions train and walked away with the cargo without help from summoning the enforcers. I executed one reprobate who was trafficking in weapons not too long ago. But even that moron wasn't so greedy and stupid as to arm the rabble with autoguns. So there was another who dishonors the enforcer's uniform. I will find the maggot and shove their head under a passing train.
The foreman believes that the people who stole the autoguns are connected to Nemesite.
Foreman. You wouldn't believe the kinds of thugs he welcomes at his vat. I agree that sympathizers of Nemesite's anarchic cause may be involved in this outrage, but I don't trust that Foreman character. He knows everyone in the bay. He sees everything. He never informs on one of his own. He only complains about problems I am already well aware of.
Seems to me there's a mutiny brewing in your compartment.
The threat of mutiny is always there, Lord Captain. We have uncovered several cells over the past month, although, admittedly, none of the traitors were armed with autoguns. We will redouble our efforts. The bastards will pay dearly for stealing our munitions.
Oh, very well, then. I have finished inspecting this bay.
The captain raises a wary eyebrow. Will there be any orders based on the inspection's conclusions? Well, Iconoclast is going to be the choice we take.
The workers are to be provided with everything they need to service the freight line properly. Food and medicine will be delivered to the bay, and you are to demote any enforcers found to be abusing their authority to the status of the workers.
The captain needs a moment to handle his confusion. Orders... understood. Educated labor. The flagship's hull integrity is increased by +10. The plating of all sectors of the flagship is increased by +1. The freight line workers study to the best of their ability, applying newly attained knowledge for the betterment of the ship. Thanks to their efforts, logistical operations with the engineering bays have become more efficient, which has opened up new opportunities for fortifying the ship's hull. Hey! Love that one. Orders have been carried out. 3 days have passed. All right. Already operating according to the new procedure. Well, then, if it's operating to the new procedure, what, pray tell, are we going to find around here?
Let the faith guide my path to glory.
Has this all been cleaned up? Not yet. Not by the looks of it. Oh my, no, it's been 3 days. This is 3 days. We still have our goods down here.
To reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Rations are cheap. Oop. Hold on a second. Open the door.
Duty prevails.
Well, this is new. New or unnoticed.
Know your duty.
You ever get the feeling you missed a whole bunch of stuff? Any secrets? No secrets. All right, back to try and get those goods. Where were they? Right.
We are bound.
Somewhere over here. Yeah, right over here. Malady is receding. Perfect. I will happily take that. Pestilence Pit is already looking better.
Let us walk this path to the end.
Buddy's still not doing good by the looks of it. Well, it's a start.
I rise above hardships.
And now we can go up. Perfect. So the flute player got replaced with rations.
We should deal with this.
I was going to say, I wonder if he was blocking anything, and he was.
The Vizier. Would he be proud? Am I?
What have we got in the box? More trade goods. So now the big question, can I snag everything I missed when I jumped down through the vents? That is the question.
The divine watches over us.
That is a whole lot of nope. Nope. Well, shoot. Hopefully there wasn't anything cool in there. Not like I'm going to search that after today's video and see what I missed to my shame. But I do believe that would be the end of the Bloodspun web path.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Not bad. A lot of reading. Still not fully recovered on that one, so I can admit it. It took a little bit more out of me than it should have. With that being said, there are things to do, places to be, and debilitating diseases to get cured. Let's return to the bridge. Back to the ship. Well, we were already on the ship, but back to the bridge. There we go. That's the correct word for it. That being said, too, I wonder where we're sitting at for influence and trade. Swing back down to the Thunderfang and see what we got. Profit factor's gone back up. We have quite a few things we can trade. It's 50. Wait. That'll get us up to the next level. We don't have enough profit factor to grab everything, though. That's a shame. Like a Powerball. No. We do have a soul pattern chainsword. We have a force grenade. Stalker gloves. Stacking, or it doesn't stack, sorry. So it's +5 bonus critical hit chance. The next range attack against the same enemy. I'll take that. Take all 9 med kits. Grab the auto gun. And the chainsword. So we need 20 in total. We also need to up our influence levels. That's a force sword. Okay. Yes. We need to get another 1,000. That's 500. That's 900. Just shy. Just shy. Well, the only thing I can grab is the Veilrender. Or sword. And the Reaper Cape. And so far, you're about the only person we can trade with. That's going to involve us going ahead and I think turning a lot of the gear we're not going to be using into cargo, which is fine. But I think I'm going to do that a little bit off camera because that's going to take a little bit of time. In the meantime, however, ladies and gentlemen, my voice is pretty much ratched still, so I think we're going to be calling it here for the day. Unfortunately, we didn't get a level from the Bloodspun Web, which is a shame. Other members of the retinue did indeed get their levels, which we haven't touched yet. Actually, the Shep. We got a new ability. Let's have a look at that one real quick. Yes, back and forth in menus is something not exactly a whole lot of people want to do. I fully understand that one. We were looking at what? Hull. That's already on there. We're not going to take that off. I guess that was just a special ability. Don't have any scrap. Oh, okay. Well, the freight lines themselves are been better functions, so at least that's a plus. We have gotten no experience for the ship yet. Makes me wonder. Makes me wonder. Got posts. Everyone's all set up for that. Yeah, everyone's sitting where they should be. I'll take it. All right, as stated, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming along for the ride for this episode. If you enjoyed it, by all means, please don't forget to hit that like button. If you want to support the channel at all, by all means, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a comment on down below. The series will continue. The voice is getting a little bit better, so hopefully we'll give it another day and we can return on Sunday. Till then, though, ladies and gentlemen, stay warm, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, all.
I'm inbound on your starboard. 7 high tech. Eat this, toaster. Target acquisition is screwed. Give me manual controls now.